Hello, so I'm going to be doing a quick review of the documentary The Thin Blue Line. This documentary, for those who have not seen it, is about the misconduct of the justice system during a case where a police officer was shot and killed in 1976. A man named Randall Dale Adams had taken a ride from 16-year-old David Harris in Austin, Texas. It is later revealed that Harris was driving a stolen car, and when Officer Robert Wood pulled him over, Wood is shot and killed. The entire film winds and weaves through about 8 to 10 people giving different stories of how the night went and how the judicial process occurred. To mix up the monotony of the interviews, there were clips of the reenactments of the murder, as well as pictures of drawn maps of the crime scene. This film might have been good if it had any reliability among the people interviewed and the witnesses. There were no firm facts or evidence other than the fact that Wood was shot and killed and that Randall Adams was sentenced to life in prison. I'm not completely sure why the filmmaker decided to do this, but from the very beginning of the film, they established a sense of unease and unreliability. The film began by Adams being interviewed, and there was no information about him, just what he was saying. Since there was no backstory, I had no idea what was going on, so this was pretty much wasted time because I was fully lost in the storyline. Once they finally got into the actual crime and the chronology of the night, there were so many more inconsistencies. First, the only witness who wasn't a suspect, the other police officer at the crime scene, literally served as zero help in retelling the investigation and helping further it. She forgot the license plate number of the stolen car. She shot at the car as it drove away but missed, and all she could really remember was the milkshakes they had gotten before. The two men in the car seemed to have different stories about how the night occurred, and there was alcohol and marijuana involved. And one of the men in the interview stated that he didn't even remember a lot of the story himself, and he was just told all the events that unfolded. Clearly not a good source. So at the beginning of the documentary, every witness was revealed to be unreliable. After watching this, I gave up hope in the accuracy and substance of this documentary when only 10 minutes had passed. The critique I have of the compilations of the clips and interviews is that there were zero names or positions mentioned or shown on the screen. Usually to aid in the storyline and retention of the information, there is a little blurb at the bottom of the screen showing the person's name and their relevance to that particular story or their occupation. In this documentary, however, there was none of that, leaving me to have no idea what was going on at all times. The one thing running through my head the entire movie was, who are these people and why are they in this film? It might have been a conscious decision of the filmmaker to omit the names, but I just don't think it did anything effective. One major piece of the definition of a documentary is a film based on facts, and this is where I think the film missed the mark. Almost every interview was a story or one's interpretation of the events that occurred, and it made the whole film very cloudy, and I wasn't sure what to think, who to believe, or if it was even possible to believe anyone. The good parts about this film, though, were the consistent references to the downfalls in the justice system. It refers to the false scripts they wanted suspects to sign, the terrible job the female officer did at helping with the progression of finding the man who killed the police, the coaching of the evidence, making up lies and false witnesses to convince the jury to incriminate the man that is more convenient to punish, which was Adams, because he was older. Overall, this film was a very unsuccessful attempt at retelling the process of a crime, but it did highlight and blame the justice system for being corrupt and was very successful at doing so. It definitely missed many marks in being a good documentary, but since it's accomplished one thing, toward the end of the film, it was not horrible. Thank you.